Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life, or if you prefer, the last 310 months. I'm in Atwater right now. It's 2008 to 2016. I sat and marinated in Atwater. I'm just taking you through the course of my time, taking you on a journey with me to show you all aspects of my life, the hustle, the drama, the chaos, and everything in between. You know, in the beginning, I just been telling you stories about all the crazy shit that happens. And it's sad that I have more of those stories than the rest. And this is just another one. You know, I have a friend, he's a Latin king. You know, some of you viewers been asking me about if I know any stories about some Latin kings. There's not a lot of them on the West Coast because, as you know, Latin kings are stationed in the Midwest, New York, and towards the East. But when I was in Atwater, I ran into a few of them. And I'm friends with a few of them. And one of my friends his name is Pops. I don't know his real name because I don't ask people their name. You know, I just deal with them how I deal with them. Whatever they tell me their name is, we create a rapport. I have a habit of not asking too many questions, and I keep to it. But Pops, you know, from everything I know about him, he's a thorough dude. Good dude, been down a long time. He's a little bit older than me. At the time I met him, he was already in his 40s. You know, I'm still in my early 30s when I was in Atwater. And this happened around maybe 2010, 2011. You know, Pops, what I know of him, the way he was, he lived in my unit and he was cool. Everybody that knew him when he came off the bus spoke highly of him. They respected him. And he minded his business. You know, in the morning, he goes out and play handball. Sometime throughout the day, he finds time to work out. Then after that, he just sits in front of his cell in his chair and crochet. Me and him used to go out in the morning and play handball together. And, you know, a lot of these dudes from the East Coast that grew up in New York or whatnot, they play handball on the streets. You know, me being younger, when me and him played, I relied more on my youth and my athletic ability. But, you know, Pop, he's mastered the game. So he has more strategic strategy when we play handball against each other, and more time than not, he whoops on me. I mean, of all the times that we played handball, I probably beat him a handful of times, but the rest, I got punished, you know. But like I said, everybody that knew Pop knew that he was a mellow dude. Cool, mind his business, very respectful. You know, the last time I seen him was in 2016, 2017, when I was in Lewisburg in the SMOOth program, SMU. Stands for Special Monitoring Unit. And I happened to see him when they were taking us out to our daily rec for an hour in a freaking chicken coop. And he was in one of the cages that I walked by, and we said hi, because I had always wondered what had happened to him after Atwater. You know, again, like a lot of these people, when they come to the penitentiary, they don't want to respect the politics, or they feel like they're above being courteous and being polite. You know, when you're in an environment like that, amongst men like me, you know, the most common words we use are, excuse me, please, and thank you. Because we always want to be respectful on our end. So that way, if we always conduct ourselves a certain way, then if somebody jumps out there and goes sideways with us, I don't want to say righteousness, but our integrity, just knowing that we conduct ourselves the way it's supposed to be, so we're not going to allow somebody else dealing with us to treat us any different than we treat them. Pop's been in the unit for a few months, and they put a Puerto Rican dude in there. Another Puerto Rican dude came off the bus. You know, when you're in the prison, they try to keep you with your race, with your group, or whatever they think your group is. So to minimize, drama, people think being locked up in a cell is safe. Well, being locked up in a cell with another man could be a potential hazard. Could be one of the most dangerous places to be, because you got two grown men sharing a space the size of a bathroom. Your viewers out there, you probably got bathrooms that are bigger than the cells that we live in. So you got two grown men stuck in a cell the size of a bathroom. These men have different personalities. So if they don't know how to adjust, how to compromise, and how to work through things, then the end result is they're going to crash. Pop Celly was this tall, skinny Puerto Rican. He was a little bit younger, a little bit arrogant, and loud. Where Pop's my size. I mean, he had a little, he was about 5'5", but he had a little more size than me. But by any, measurement or whatever, he's just a little guy. But he was a serious individual, and everybody that knew him and knew of him knew that he was a respectable dude. When you have when you get to know somebody and you have conversation with them, they're conveying certain things to you without actually saying it. And I remember like the last conversation I had with Pops, when we was out there playing handball, he was like, man, I don't know what this youngster think I am or whatever, but it's just, I'm gonna have to address it. I know what he's saying, but I don't know what exactly that his intentions are, but I know that this dude is getting on his last nerve and he's gonna deal with this dude. So on this particular night, we lock in. I think in Atwater, you lock in at either 8:45 or 9:15. We rack in our cell, we're done for the night. They locked our cell's door. Ain't nothing left for you to do but read a book, listen to your radio, go to sleep. And for the most part, everybody's relieved to be locked in a cell, because now you ain't got to worry about somebody running up in on you or anything. You're safe. You're behind locked doors, right? So you think. But like I said, one of the most dangerous places to be is locked in a cell with another man. So this night went down just like any other night. We all racked in. We all went about our business, and I fell asleep. 3 o'clock in the morning, a cry wakes me up out of dead sleep. A grown man waking up screaming, "Stop, stop, don't kill me, don't kill me, stop, stop, you're gonna kill me, you're gonna kill me." And we can hear him screaming. There's things in the penitentiary that you can't unsee. And there's certain sounds and noises that you can't unhear. And one of the most eeriest noise that is so embedded in my brain that I can never erase is a grown man screaming, crying, begging for his life. And this person that was Pop Celly, it wasn't the first time I've heard this scream, this pain, this agony, this just begging for mercy. And it wasn't the last. And that stuff sticks with you. Because, us as men, we pride ourselves being able to handle shit. But like I said, I was sleeping. And all of a sudden, I just heard a scream. Stop! Officer, help! Officer, help! Stop, stop! You're gonna kill me! You're killing me! You're gonna kill me! You know, between 9:30, after they count, 10 o'clock count, when you're locking your cell, until 6 o'clock in the morning, the CO that works your unit can't open your door without the lieutenant present. So if something's going on in a cell, they're not going to run over there and pop the door and save you, especially if there's a weapon involved. They're going to stand at the door and tell you, stop doing what you're doing. Put down the weapon. Turn around, cuff up. Turn around, cuff up. But if you're in the cell getting butchered, that's not going to do nothing for you. They're not going to open that door and run in there and save you. You stuck in that cell, you fighting for your life. And many a times, they could save somebody if they had the courage to just open that door and run in there and do whatever they do. But they're human too. And a lot of these COs that work in the penitentiary, they weren't out in the streets. Their mentality is different. And they see a violent act happening, I'm pretty sure their senses get shocked. And a part of them don't want anything to do with it. You know, I ran into a lot of old school dudes through the course of my time. You know, like my friend Dana, the Hawaiian dude. You know, later on, I shared this story when me and him was in the SHU together. And he asked, you know, when he came in and said, hey, I'm older, so I get to pick the bunk I want, right? I said, yeah, go pick whatever bunk you want, the lower bunk or the bottom bunk. Well, all these older dudes that's in the penitentiary, they always choose the upper bunk. Because the upper bunk is harder for, if someone's trying to sneak them in the middle of the night, they got to climb up top to the bunk to get them. You know, we're all conditioned to be mindful of our security at all times, especially once you've done a lot of time. It's instilled in you. So a lot of these OGs, they want the upper bunk. They're 60, 70 years old climbing onto the top bunk because they know if somebody's trying to come and get them, it's not easy picking on the top bunk as opposed to you laying asleep on the bottom bunk. Pops was no different. He's been around. You know, when the time I met him, he's already put in 2+ decades. And from my understanding, he had a long time, maybe even life. But he lived on the top bunk. And his Celly, this loudmouth youngster Puerto Rican that felt like whatever because of his size. Or, you know, I can't get into the mind of these individuals because when you meet serious individuals, they're always going to conduct themselves with a certain level of integrity. They're always going to be respectful. Not because they're scary or they don't want any problems. It's because they know if a situation arises, they're going to handle it. Whereas opposed to these youngsters or these other dudes, these arrogant ass dudes that always bump in their mouth, but when shit happens, they never bust a grape. So like I said, the conversation that I had with Pops, the last one, he was just like, man, he was kind of disappointed that this dude was going to make him do something to him. And that night, dead sleep. Stop, stop, you're going to kill me. Officer, help, officer, help. I'm on the bottom bunk. Bryson's on the top bunk. I listen, and I can hear him screaming. And I say, hey, Bryce. I said, you asleep? Nah, bro. What's up, bro? I said, you hear that? He goes, yeah, bro. I think that's Pop Celly. Yeah, bro, that's Pop Celly, bro. And all we can hear is the COs running over to the door, the keys jingling, and the CO screaming, "Stop, put down the weapon, stop, back up, cuff up, cuff up." And you can hear them spraying the cell, because that's all they have. It's the canister of mace or whatever they got. And you can hear them spraying the cell down, all the commotion. You can hear all the other COs running into the unit. But none of them's popping the door. They're not going to pop that door until you're restrained. And then the only way that they can able to subdue you at that time is just to keep spraying you with that OC. There's, I emphasize through a lot of these episodes that once you're behind that wall, nowhere is safe. If you don't know how to conduct yourself, you're going to be a body real quick. And one of the most dangerous places to be is in a cell with somebody that's got the upper hand on you. You're in a dead sleep. Your cellie wakes you up by fucking sticking a piece of metal through your body. And if you're not ready for that, if you're not that gangster that you try to portray yourself to be because you've been running your mouth, you're going to have a culture shock. The best thing that his cellie could have done was try to fight back. But he got caught off guard. And he was terrified. So the only thing left for him to do was scream. And you can hear his scream echoing throughout the unit. And like I said, there's just some things that you can't unhear. And one of the eeriest sounds that's embedded in my brain is a grown-ass man screaming, begging for his life. Welcome to the USP.